besties, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and I obviously love to read. Something I also obviously love to do is buy more books. So today we are here with yet another unhinged book haul. Yeah, I don't even have anything to blame this on. I mean, I do a little bit because I went to my parents' house a couple weeks ago and y'all know what my mom does when we see each other. So this again is basically completely her feeding my buying book addiction. Now, I will tell you that after going through this book haul with you guys, I have learned a couple of things. I know, revolutionary, but I have learned a few things since buying all of these books, and it doesn't really have anything to do with buying the books. It has everything to do with the books that I've been reading that I have hauled before. I think after this book haul, I really am going to try to slow down on buying books because, first of all, this bookshelf behind me is overflowing with books, and as you saw recently, your girl has new bookshelves. With that, all of these books are, what am I even saying? I bought the majority of these books due to the fact that I knew I was going to have more bookshelf space. And I personally, as you can tell, do not like having any empty spaces on my bookshelf. So I was doing that. So like now that I have filled my bookshelves to a pretty nice degree, we are going to slow down on book buying. Long story short, we're doing a book haul. However, before you yell at me, I am planning to slow down on my book buying. I also wanted to give a disclaimer here real quick that yes, I am aware this is overconsumption of books. However, this is how I choose to spend my time and my money, and that is my prerogative. So if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Okay, anyway, let's get into today's book haul. I actually don't know how many books we're gonna go through because I've not counted them yet, but this stack is massive. So I do have them organized to a degree, so we're gonna kind of go in some sort of order. I am super excited to go through this book haul with you guys because I am not going to lie. I have no idea what's in this bag. I also have a bag over there from Half Price Books that's been in its bag since I bought them 3.5 weeks ago, and I genuinely have no idea what I bought. So this is going to be a little bit of a surprise for both of us because I don't remember what I bought. Perks of having a goldfish memory. Let's go through the books that I bought at Target. These were bought while I was vacationing in Georgia earlier this month. And the first book that we have here is The Winged Game by Sophie Kim. I am so excited to read this because all I've heard about this, other than great things, is it is a romantasy sports romance. That sounds amazing. I also am pretty sure that this is a standalone. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a standalone. Now this copy is gorgeous. Okay, Target. Now the end papers in the front and the back are the same. They are gorgeous. Nonetheless, the naked hardcover is just purple, so nothing super exciting. Next book I have on my pile here is actually one that I didn't buy, but it is something that my mom gifted me because she apparently had 2 copies of this, but it is The Crash by Frida McFadden. Thankfully, one I have not read yet. The next book here is called The Odds of You by Kate Dramis. So this is probably the only book. Oh wow, I forgot I bought these. This is probably the only book here. I'm pretty sure, I'm just gonna go off of a limb here and say I'm pretty sure this is the only book that I have in this haul that I've not ever heard a single word about. I've never seen it anywhere besides the store that I bought it from. However, it's gorgeous. Look at these sprayed edges. They are so cute. The reason why I picked this one up is it is second chance. You can tell just by the quote on the front, which says, once is a chance. Can we read? Oh my God. Once is chance, twice is fate. And this was also blurbed by Tara DeWitt. So I am very excited about reading this. Wonder how many times I'm gonna say that in this video. Now these two, I totally forgot that I bought these. Bless my past self. These are, oh, I forgot about that too. These are the second and third book to whatever the name of this series is called. Oh, The War of Lost Hearts. So this is Children of Fallen Gods and Mother of Death and Dawn. I already have Daughter of No Worlds. These are the new covers, which I don't love. I've talked about this before. Compared to the original covers, these are absolute garbage, but I have heard so many amazing things about this story that I just couldn't pass up buying the books. Sorry, I just need to make sure we were filming, because like, if we weren't... Last book I bought at Target, and this was actually the whole reason I went to Target the day that I bought the other books. It went kind of crazy. But this one is called Not Good Neighbors by Violet Lumani. So I lied. This one I also have not seen anyone talk about. I've not seen it anywhere, never heard of it. But I love a Good Neighbors book. Like, this is literally one of my favorite tropes. I am very excited to get to this. Next pile is an interesting one because this one is all books that I bought from Book Outlet. If you are a lover of buying books and you've never heard of Book Outlet, let me sell you on it. Book Outlet is a website where I believe shipping is free in the US. If it's not, I think you only have to spend like $20 or $30 to get free shipping. So my entire order shipped for free. And Book Outlet is known for their $5.99 fiction sale, which happens at least once a year. I unfortunately did not purchase these books during that sale, but everything that I bought was under $10, which most of these books you just like actually can't beat the price. On all of these, I made sure to check online elsewhere to ensure that I was getting the cheapest price on Book Outlet, because your girl loves a good price book. So we're gonna start small at the bottom, and this one is not even really a book, but it is a coloring book, and this is Garden Corners by Hikaru Katz. I have a lot of coloring books by this artist. They're known for like their really bold lines and really easy coloring pages, so I do love having these and doodling in them every once in a while. Coloring in them every once in a while I'm reading an audiobook if I have nothing else to do. That is the first book. Oh my god, it is so hot in here. Oh, I'm so excited. I forgot I got some of these books. The next one is called, and this is another one, I've not heard about this or seen it anywhere, so I guess I do have a few of these, but this one I wanted to pick up because first of all, I want to broaden my horizons, expand my literature habits, and I also want to raise awareness, is that what I'm looking for? Kind of, you get what I'm saying, of Asian voices specific. This one is The Second Chance Convenience Store by Kim Ho-yeon. And it is super short. This book is under 200 pages. I figured this would be a really good way for me to get some like general fiction under my belt without something being like 500 pages. Next book, I don't know if this author is Asian, but this is a book based in Seoul, Korea, which is one of my favorite places in the world. So I figured this would be a really awesome place for a romance to take place. So this book is called Soulmates by Jen Frederick. And this book, just first of all, cover is adorable. It's obviously set in Seoul. It just sounded really fun to me when I originally read the synopsis. Also, BRB, I'm gonna put some lip gloss on because my lips are dying. So sorry you guys had to watch the first part of that video with me having nothing on my lips. Crusty dusty. The next two books I'm so excited about because I totally forgot that I bought these. The first one is called Second Chance Romance, very unoriginal title, by Olivia Dade. What sold me on this was the artwork on the cover. Are you actually fucking kidding me? A beautiful plus size woman and a plus size man, and he's obviously like a baker or something. I can't wait to read this. I'm so excited. The next one, I totally forgot that I bought this, guys. Very excited to have my first Mariana Zapata novel. This one is All Roads Lead Here, which I'm sure you have heard about. I am so excited to find out what all the rage is with Miss Mariana Zapata, so can't wait to get to this. One thing I will say though, if you are going to buy from Book Outlet, be very aware that they do the same things with their books or something has already been done to them. They like destroy them kind of like they do at TJ Maxx because they're so discounted. So like this one specifically is really bad because it's on the cover, but they do like mark them. That one's really bad. This one's just like it's supposed to just be a dot for reference. but apparently they go a little crazy sometimes. Not all of them are like that because this book is like in perfect normal condition. The little one does have a marking over here, so I don't know. I'm just gonna assume that they are like pre-damaged or something. I don't know. Anyways, just wanted to warn you about that. The next one I'm very excited to own, and it is Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Hemmerer. I was supposed to read this a few months ago and totally just decided not to. I don't know why. just wasn't in the mood for it, but I'm very, very, very excited to have this copy specifically. It's got some really cute sprayed edges with a little sword on there. Excited to have that. The next one I'm also very excited about. This is the Nightblood Prince by Molly X. Chang. This is an absolutely stunning book. Completely black hardcover with no end papers or anything. That's a book I bought. The next one I'm very excited about because this is not actually something I really saw myself picking up. However, I've seen so many of my favorite creators talk about this series recently that I just couldn't say no when I saw it on there for like $5. Had to have it. This is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, what we're gonna go with. Hopefully I'm not completely butchering their name, but very, very, very excited about this. If the size of this book intimidates you, the inside should make you feel better because the font is a little strange, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of really don't like the font, but it's a lot bigger on the inside. The margins are a lot bigger than I would have expected them to be, so I was intimidated by the size of the book as well, but I feel better after seeing that. Next book I have here is The Do-Over by Miss Lynn Painter. I am just trying to collect basically all of Lynn Painter's books. I already have Better Than the Movies, Nothing Like the Movies. I think those are maybe the only two. My YA books are all the way at the bottom, but yeah, I have those two. Anyways, so trying to collect all of Lynn Painter's books, including her adult novels. Yeah, very excited to finally read her this year because I will be doing that. Next book I have here is called A Crane Among Wolves by June Her. Definitely seen some things about this book, good things, obviously, but I haven't heard about it in a while because I think it came out at least a few years ago. Yeah, 2024. So like I remember seeing a whole bunch of stuff about it in 2024, maybe like early last year, but haven't heard really anything about it since. But I just thought the cover was too gorgeous to pass up. And again, trying to raise some awareness of Asian voices. So there we have that. Next thing I have here is the second book in the Crystal Bloom series by Sarah A. Parker. This one is To Snap a Silver Stem. The first book in this series I do have with these beautiful new sprayed edges, so I'm trying to collect all of them before they go out of print, and the second one just so happened to be on Book Outlet, so I figured I would snatch it up. Last two books from Book Outlet. The first one is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This is something that I have obviously seen so much about, but I heard one of my favorite creators talking about this again recently and just talking about how emotionally devastating this book is, and sometimes I'm just genuinely in the mood to be absolutely wrecked. And the last one here is a little random, but I already have the second book. Okay, I don't know what it's called because they don't mention it by name, but I already have the second one. This is When Life Gives You Vampires by Gloria Duke, and this is apparently her debut novel. So very excited to add this one to my collection. If you can't tell by the cover, this is a plus size mid-20s girl. I just love reading about women who are plus size in romance novels, so this one being plus size vampire situation, can't wait to read this. So that's all from Book Outlet. I have two more categories: randomly purchased and things from Half Price Books. So we're gonna go through Half Price Books last because that one I'm most excited about because I genuinely have no idea what's in that bag. So I'm just gonna go through all of the other stuff that I have bought in the interim. This next book is In Stormy Weather by Chelsea Curto. This is something that my partner actually picked up for me recently. Very excited to read this. I love Chelsea Curto. I have actually I've read two of her books, but only one of the DC Stars books. Loved it, love her writing style, love her banter especially, and the banter is just next level in this book. Can't wait to read it. It also takes place during hurricane season in Florida, and if you don't know, that's exactly where we are right now. So can't wait to read that. Next one is it's my most recent purchase. But this is Sunrise on the Reaping, which literally just came out this week in paperback. I have been waiting for this to come in paperback so I can add it to my collection and so I can finally read it. We are actually in the process of watching all of the Hunger Games movies right now to prepare for this movie coming out in November. I literally can't wait. I know this is going to absolutely shatter my heart because if you don't know, this book is about Haymitch, and I love Haymitch. Probably one of my favorite characters. So to learn about his trauma is going to traumatize me. Next book I have here is And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. This is the second book in the series called Heartstrings, I think, by her. The first book that I ever read by B.K. Borison was the first book that came in this series, and that's the only B.K. Borison book that I've really enjoyed. So I really wasn't planning on picking this up, but Bessie Jessica was raving about this recently, and I figured if I'm gonna like another BK book, it's probably gonna be this one, so had to do it. Next 6 books are almost completing an entire collection, and that is the Shadowhunters by Cassandra Clare. I do have the entire trilogy for Last Hours, so that is Chain of Thorns, Chain of Gold, and Chain of Iron. These books are just fucking stunning. I actually can't believe how beautiful these covers are. I was shook when they came in the mail. These are so beautiful. And then I also have the Dark Artifices trilogy. So this is Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air and Darkness. These are also absolutely stunning. All of Cassandra Clare's covers are stunning. This book is massive. This one is almost 900 pages. Outside of her like novellas and like one-off spin-off books of Shadowhunters, I do now own the entire Shadowhunters collection. So this is Mortal Instruments, Infernal Devices, Dark Artifices, and now Last Hours. Very excited to eventually delve into the world of Cassandra Clare. Next pile I have here are new-ish releases. At least some of them are. The first one here is Daybreak by Autumn Woods, which is the second book in the Sorrow-Sung University duet. I'm very excited to have this because I have been waiting to read the first book so that, wow, words. Oh my God, Amanda. I have been waiting to read this since Nightshade came out. I've actually put off reading Nightshade until this book came out, so now that it's finally here, I'll be reading this very, very, very soon. The next book I am very excited to read because I have seen this so many times and thought that it had came out months and months and months ago, and apparently there was just a whole bunch of people who got a bunch of ARCs. This is Yes, Chef by Grace Riley. If you know anything about me, you know that I love a good chef book, and the fact that this one centers completely around at least one chef. I can't wait. Literally can't wait. It's also, this cover is gorgeous. Look at this man. So cute. Absolutely cannot wait to read that. The next book here is an oldie. This one is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. I can't wait to read this entire series. If you did not know, I don't know how much is in the book, but there is some sort of autism rep in each one of the books in this trilogy, and I can't wait to read about it. This is Because I Killed Him by Edith Birdie, and this is the first book in the 9 Gentlemen series. This is a normal size paperback. This is the size of this paperback. It is almost 600 pages, but look how small the words are. This is what I was expecting the inside of City of Brass to look like. This is going to be tough to get through, especially if there's not an audiobook. Hopefully there is one, but like I said, I bought this purely based off FOMO because all of the creators that I love have read this recently and they are raving about it, and I need to know what's going on. Next book I have here is The Lunatics by Navessa Allen. I'm gonna assume that this is a repub of something else because I feel like I just would have heard a lot more about this if this was like brand new. Yeah, this is a repub of something that she wrote in 2019. I don't know how to feel about that. I do love Navessa Allen. I'm just hoping that this isn't bad because it's old. Anyways, I sound like an asshole. I picked this up because this is about werewolves, and I don't need to ask any additional questions. I just want to read it. Can't wait to read that when spooky season starts. Next book that I have here is A Forsaken Prophecy, which is the second book in the Artisan trilogy by Stacey McCowan. Very excited to have this. Still haven't read the first book, but literally can't wait because people are really loving this, and I think I will too. Next 3 books I have here are part of the Edge of Darkness trilogy. So I do have book 2, book 3, and then Psychotic Obsession, which is like a spin-off novel. I do have the first one of this, but it is on its way from Pango. I've been wanting to buy this trilogy for the longest time. One of my favorite creators was talking about it the other day, and I was like, oh, let me go buy it finally. While I'm in the process of buying all these books, I may as well buy something I know I'm gonna love. I went to go buy these, and I learned that book 1 actually comes out in, like, it got picked up for Trad Publishing, which is fucking wild. Amazing for Lee Rivers, but wild that these got picked up for traditional publishing. So I wanted to make sure that I grabbed the indie copies before they were gone. So book 2 and book 3 were still and are still available on Amazon right now in the indie copy, but book 1 is set to come out on the 16th. Maybe it's not the 16th. I don't know. It comes out in the next like week or 2 in trad published form. So I did have to order book 1 on Pango. And I know that it is not going to be in as good condition, but I got the cheapest one I could find because I'm just gonna assume that the rest of the people who are selling their indie copy of book 1 know that people are going to be looking for it, because the way that book has skyrocketed in price on these used websites is fucking wild. So I do have book 2, Voracious, book 3, Restitution, and the spinoff novel, which is about the dad, Psychotic Obsession. I am interested in the traditionally published copy because one thing that I love about the indie copy is all of the artwork that's in it. It's very reminiscent of Haunting Adeline, and I don't know if they're going to keep that in the trad published version. That will be interesting to see. Next pile I have here is all manga and graphic novels. So I will start with Heartstopper. So I own volume 1 of Heartstopper and have for like 6 or 7 years whenever it first came out, and learned that she's almost done with the entire series. So I wanted to go ahead and purchase that. I just haven't picked up the last book yet, which is volume 6. So I do have volume 2, so Heartstopper by Alice Osman, volume 3, volume 4, and volume 5, which I love that they keep getting thicker and thicker and thicker. I love that. So if you don't know what Heartstopper is, it is a graphic novel about boy love, and it also got an adaptation. I believe it's on Amazon Prime Video. I could be wrong, but there is a show that is based on the graphic novel, and I just wanted to read all of them first before watching the show, so here we are. The next thing I have here, I didn't even know this was a thing, okay? I did not know this was a thing. Ace and I went to a random Barnes & Noble like a month ago, and I had just got through reading the entirety of The Dangerous Convenience Store. I was under the impression that volume 6 was the final volume, but apparently 945 decided to write a number 7. I found this, had to pick it up, can't wait to read this. Actually really need to read this soon before all of it leaves my mind, but wow, that was really explicit. If you don't know anything about Dangerous Convenience Store, it is currently my favorite boy love manga. It's actually a manhwa because it is Korean manga, so it is in full color, which Korean novels are known for. Oh, this is like bonus content. It's not like additionally in the story. Anyways, so it is in full color, and it does read front to back. I'm getting really ahead of myself. If you aren't familiar with Japanese manga, they are backwards. So spine, what would normally be the back of the book, for American books is the front of the book, and then when you read it, you read this way to this way instead of this way to this way. Korean manga, manhwa, is read just like American comics. So for me personally, it is a little easier to read, and I love that they are pretty much all printed in full color. The next thing here is just a book that I had to pick up to complete my collection because I read this series last year. It's called I Married My Female Friend. And when I read the fourth one, like when I ordered the fourth one rather, it came severely damaged and I just never replaced it. So wanted to pick that up and replace it. And also, these three specifically were bought at Second and Charles. So they were all bought secondhand and they were much cheaper than they are normally. So like this one, for example, this is called The Lady and Her Butler by Jade, and this is the second volume. I've had the first one for quite some time, and I believe, yeah, this is based on a webtoon. If you don't know what a webtoon is, it is I don't know if it's Korean, I don't know, but they're usually Asian, but they are comics that you can read online, but you scroll to read them. This is based on that webtoon, so it's all like it, you know, the art looks the same as the webtoon does. And these, again, are printed in glossy full color, so they are normally $20 to $30 a volume, and this was at Second and Charles for $6. So couldn't say no. And the last one that I got is another manga. This one is boy love as well, except I don't think this one is very explicit. This is Laughter in the Sunshine by Fukimaru. Next book I have here, I bought solely because in Emmy's last reading vlog, she was reading this book and absolutely loved it. And it just sounded like something that I would also really enjoy, so had to buy it. This is Book Boyfriend by Lucy Vine. From what I heard Emmy talking about, this follows two sisters. I think one of them is in love with a fictional character from their favorite book, and then the other sister is in love with the actor who's playing her sister's book boyfriend in the TV show adaptation. But apparently there is some family drama in this, and, you know, in addition to the romance, it's bringing the sisters back together, so sounds like I would really enjoy that. I also picked up May Luna by Kelly McNeil, solely because Madison Kate was reading this recently and sobbing her brains out on the internet to this, and I, again, love a good sob session sometimes, so had to pick it up. The next one here is a little strange compared to the rest of my reading taste, but I wanted to pick this up before it potentially gets taken away forever. So this is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. If you don't know anything about this, this is a severely dystopian novel where women are bred to have children, and it's a whole thing. Never seen the show, I know, wild, and I've never read the book, I know, wild. So I would like to, again, broaden my literary horizons. Next thing here is Dragon Cursed by Elise Kova. This is her YA romantasy that came out earlier this year. I've just seen a few people read this and love it, and I probably will too because I love a YA fantasy. The next book I actually have two copies of because Amazon fucked up the first one. So this is this is Veiled Court by C.N. Crawford. So I heard Emmy talking about this recently and how much she enjoyed it. I have only read one other C.N. Crawford book that was also at the recommendation of Emmy and didn't love it, but this one sounded really good. So I had to pick this up. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with my other copy yet. I might do like a giveaway or something. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. It's only like lightly damaged. It's just like this little back page right here is bent a little bit. And then it just sits kind of funky. But if you don't care about that and you would love this book, let me know and I will do what I can to make a giveaway possible. Okay, last pile of books I have here before we get into the books from Half Price Books. These are an entire series by Catherine Cowles. This is her Sparrow Falls series minus the first book because I already own it. If you watched my most recent wrap-up video, you will know that I am now deep in my romantic suspense era, absolutely obsessed with Catherine Cowles. Again, already had the first book, so I figured why not just buy the whole series while I can. Unfortunately, I was only able to get 2 out of the 5 in the deluxe edition, which I'm pretty sure the only difference is the sprayed edges. I really wish Amazon would let you choose which one you wanted, because I personally would have just rather had them all not sprayed edges, but whatever. Out of the 6 books, I now have 3 regular and 3 with sprayed edges. It is what it is. Can't win them all. Last pile of books. Like I said, this whole bag is from Half Price Books, and I have no idea what's in here aside from the book that's at the top, and there's a couple of mangas in here that I bought for Ace. So other than that, I have no idea what's going on in this bag, so your guess is as good as mine. I do remember that I got some bangers in the clearance section, so very excited to see what those are. The first one here is The Selection by Kiara Cass, and I did get this in the clearance section for only $2. The next one I have here that I also got on clearance for $2 is the first Divergent book by Veronica Roth. Very excited to have found that for $2. Though I wonder how difficult or easy it will be to find the others in the series. So I guess we'll see. Ooh, forgot I bought this. The next one here is Consider Me by Becca Mack. I'm sure you've probably heard about this. This is a very popular hockey series. I have heard that some people love it and some people hate it. So I'm excited to see what I think about it. Let me move this out of the way because that's probably hideous. The next book here, I am also going to include in the giveaway. I guess maybe I'll do a separate giveaway of this one specifically because I don't know if the same people who want Veiled Court would also be excited about receiving this book. But I bought this not by accident, but I didn't realize that I already had this exact copy. This is a book that I read back when I was in high school. It's called This Is Where I Leave You by Jonathan Troper. This is the original cover versus it got made into a movie a few years back, and they obviously made like a movie poster cover of the book, which I also have a copy of. And I saw this and was like, oh, let me buy it just in case I don't have the original copy, and I do. But I found it for only $2. Now, this book low-key changed my life because this is such a small book. It is literally less than 350 pages, but it packs an emotional punch. It is so good. It is about this man who loses his dad, and his entire family kind of has to come together for, what's it called? Shiva. Oh, and then also his wife had an affair with his boss. So his wife had an affair with his boss, then his dad died. He went back to his hometown to sit for Shiva for 7 days, and so his whole family is brought together against their will, basically, and he ends up having essentially like a second chance romance with somebody in the town. It's just really good. It's full of family drama. Jonathan Troper is literally one of my favorite authors. Next book I got is called Ichigo Ichi. This is The Art of Making the Most of Every Moment the Japanese Way, and this is by Hector Garcia and Francesc Morales, which is also the authors of Ikigai. I am still currently in the process of reading Ikigai, though it is such a tiny book just like this one. It is full of information and extremely overwhelming, but when I saw this and it was only $8, I couldn't pass it up. Very excited to read that one as well. Next thing I have here, oh, did I buy the first one? Oh, I did. Okay, sweet. I found books 1 and 2 of Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. These were also on clearance. I literally just had that for $2, so literally cannot wait to read these. I did not realize this got made into a movie. Really? Anyway, now I have 4 other books of these to buy, and then apparently she has a spin-off series called Bloodlines, which is also $6. I just feel like this is going to be very reminiscent of Vampire Diaries, which is literally one of my favorite shows in the world, so very excited to read this. Next thing I have here is A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahera Mafi. So this is her only book that she's written, I believe, that's not romantasy, and when I saw it for only $5, I just couldn't say no. I think Tahera Mafi is a wonderful writer. It's set back in 2002, and it's about a girl in school who is Muslim, and it is shortly after 9/11, so I'm sure you can guess the content. Again, really want to expand my horizons, understand other cultures and things from other people's point of view. My partner is also Muslim, and I think this will kind of help me understand what his experience was like post 9/11, being a young child in school and being very different from the people around him. So can't wait to read this. Okay, next books I have here are the mangas that I mentioned that I bought for Ace. So he is in the process of collecting all of the Blue Lock mangas because he is down bad for Blue Lock. So I've got books 3, 4, nope, I've got books 2, 3, and 4 here. I'm very excited that he is collecting these because I would love to read these to understand the story, because he's watched the anime so many times at this point and we're just never like watching it together. It's not something that I'm just gonna like sit and consume. I have other things to do. But when I'm in the mood for a manga, I might pick these up. Next 2 books here are completing a series of mine, and this is The Sacred Stones by Kate Golden. So this is book 2, A Promise of Peridot, and the last book in the trilogy, A Reign of Rose. Haven't heard amazing things about this series, so that makes me a little nervous, but I do love Kate Golden as an author, so I'm hoping that these will be better for me than they have been for other people. Okay, oh, so exciting. So the next to last book from Half Price Books is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I'm sure you have heard of this book. It is kind of basically a fantasy classic at this point, and I was just really, really excited to have found it. This is like a more adult version of Caraval, is what I've heard, so excited to read that. And then the last book that I got at Half Price Books was a little expensive, but it is the deluxe hardcover copy of The Once and Future Queen by Paula Lafferty, and it was 16 bucks. So this is one I've just been wanting to pick up, but just haven't for some reason. And when I saw it for only 16 bucks, I was like, yep, gots to have it. That is my book haul, guys. I am literally surrounded by books, absolutely exhausted. Thank you so much for sticking around if you've made it all the way to the end. I sincerely appreciate you guys for spending your time with me. If you have read any of these books, please leave me all of your thoughts and opinions about said books down below. If you want to comment something else, feel free to do that. Tell me what you're reading right now. Tell me what you're excited about reading in the future. Just tell me things in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!